Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child is full of grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe. Thursday's child has far to go. Friday's child is loving and giving. Saturday's child works hard for a living. And the child that is born on the Sabbath day is bonny and blithe and good and gay.
Greetings, people of Earth. My name is Rob Wieland. I am an author, game designer, and professional nerd. Tonight, I am the host of Theater of the Mind Players, your friendly, local, actual play show. Tonight, we are playing another in the fine line of games from Free League Publishing, and this game is called Vaesen. Vaesen is Nordic Horror Roleplaying. It is designed by Nils Hintze, edited by Thomas Harenstam, Matthias Johnson Hake, and based on the art book Vaesen by Johan Egerkrans. These are another... a lot of the Free League books that have come out have come born out of the idea of an art book. And this is another example of that, as the original Vaesen art book is basically a kind of a field guide to the creatures that exist on the fringes of Nordic society. You might also call them the Fae. You might also call them the fair folk, or witches, or things like that. But the Vaesen are definitely something along the lines of the old legends of terrible creatures, not like, Tinkerbell fairies. And those are the creatures that our heroes are going to be dealing with over the next few episodes. Let's go to our first mind player.
Hello, I'm Tony Cheek, he, him. I will be playing Max Wallander. He is a 44-year-old private detective. I chose Vaesen because I love, very similar to Jordan, I love different mythologies. I love Norse and Scandinavian stuff. But I'm also a big Sherlock Holmes fan, so I thought the idea of playing a Sherlock Holmes in that sort of setting, that different culture other than London, would be really, really fun.
All right, let's move on to our next mind player.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Fishburne, she, her, and I am playing Aylin Aldborn, an old lady doctor who is nice and lovely in the setting. And I chose Vaesen because I've always been fascinated with the creepier aspects of lore and beliefs held by people in regions. And Fae in particular have always been very interesting because they got all this bubble gum flavor recently, but like used to be super creepy.
Bubble
like,
glib.
Bubble glib, yes. So that's one of the reasons why I like digging into stuff like Vaesen.
Bubble Glib brought to you by Guard Squad.
Stop.
Let's move on to our next mind player.
Hello, I am Sarah Babe, she, they, and I am playing Svetlana Mork. And she is a 20-year-old occultist who basically is swamp witch. And God, why Vaesen? This is basically a landscape of my brain when reading like through this book. I was like, I know where this could be. I know where this fairy could live. I know where this would be. Like, because I have random adventures in the wilds of Milwaukee and just see random different places that I could totally see all of these creatures coming out of, and I love it. So it's just kind of my brain in a book. So that's why I like Vaesen. I want to play it.
Let's move on to our next mind player.
Hello, I am Ethan Exit Anderson, he, him, and I am playing Franz Bjorn.
You picked the like easiest
I know.
name out of everybody.
Which is why I second guessed it as soon as I was saying it.
It's okay.
Also known as Keith.
Keith.
He is an officer, and the reason I picked this game, places that live in the dark half of the year have the best legends.
That's fair.
And it's free league. You can never really go wrong with choosing a free league game.
Kind of all our answer.
Yeah.
And let's move on to our next mind player.
Hi, I'm Tawny P. Thompson, she, hers, and I will be playing Stabi Sundage, who is the writer of our group. I had a variety of reasons for picking Vaesen. One of the first is it's free league, which just means that it's going to be fun no matter what we do. But I just love this era, and it gave me a lot of costuming opportunities. And also, I do enjoy like the creepy fae horror, nature-y aspect of it. So yeah, really excited.
All right, so
Unique reasons.
let's
We
get.
all dig it.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we wouldn't be playing this if everybody wasn't excited at
Right.
some point, but
I don't get excited about anything.
we just had a like out of all the games that we discussed last year, this was like the one that everybody was like, yes, let's do it, and then now here it is as sort of our ironically the last series that we are doing this year, but there are other we've done a bunch of good, and this will be airing as fall goes into winter, so it'll be a perfect time for some spooky season. So let's begin, shall we? Speaking of spooky season begins with Dr. Ellen Alborn. Can you tell us about your where you practice your medicine?
So I would say Aylin practices near the middle of town. She has just a very small office where she takes patients and has a way to be contacted in case she needs to make house calls. And she has just a weak older horse named Alvis that she has to help carry her tools and everything when she has to go around. Not so much for riding because he's getting old, but just there to help with anything that she'll need to bring, depending on what's kind of going on.
We open in your small office with you in the process of helping a patient. Jonas came in because he had been kicked in the head by one of his horses. And I think right now you're, because he's holding his jaw and it's swollen, and you're sort of checking out and like, does this hurt? Aha!
I already went through the concussion. Just checked his eyes. Dear, you just can't bend down behind your horse. I told you this.
I didn't mean to. I had dropped my favorite apple knife, and I didn't want it to get dirty because then I would have to walk all the way back to the house.
This is the 3rd time this month. You need to get a little grabber. Just grab it off. That way you don't have to do this anymore. You already told me.
Go for it.
You told me.
You mean
already.
Chicago for it?
Just don't encourage him.
For the podcast listeners, Tony just tried to kill me with her brain.
He's lucky we moved to the other end of the table.
However, Brad died. So, sorry.
That stallion of yours is just waiting for the opportunity, Jonas.
Alright, well, can you give me something for the pain?
Of course. I already have it all packed up, and I put together the little baggie full of packets, and I give him the instructions. Add this to a cup of hot water every morning. Make sure it's all set. And,
Used to it.
just make sure to be more careful in the future. The less I see you in here, the better you're doing, remember.
Thank you, Doctor. And Jonas goes back into the waiting room where his wife, is puts her arm around him and says, "All right, honey, we'll get you back home and get you set up with these pills." And she looks behind his back and gives you a like.
I nod at her very, very much like, I know.
And you escort them out because they were the last patient of the day, and clack the door. You scoop up some of the mail and are flipping through it when you are just you grab a letter and you are hit with a smell that you haven't smelled in a long time.
Slowly sit down in my chair behind my desk.
It's that thick smell of the swamp. And like it seems like talking with Jonas and dealing with his horse injury somehow dislodged a memory, and we see Dr. Alborn's hands tremble a little bit as we hear the sort of echoey like imagine the sort of that rush to the whooshing rush sound of like the lost flashback, and it rushes forward up until the point where we hear a distorted voice say, "Help me, Aelin, please."
She takes a little fan on her desk and waves it in front of her face to catch her breath.
And you look at the envelope that you have in your hand. It's addressed to you at this address, as opposed to the address that it would be delivered to if it was a different address.
It's addressed to my office.
Yes. The return address is someplace called Castle Gyllencreutz. And on the reverse, it's been sealed in wax, and there's a symbol on it, like a circle or a dragon or
An Ouroboros?
or an Ouroboros. Yes, the dragon eating its tail.
Technically, it's a serpent.
Oh boy.
You're technically a serpent.
I look at the map that I keep on the wall of the local area. Is there anything on there that refers to a castle?
Well, it depends. How close are you to Uppsala? We cut to.
It's right next door.
Oh, that castle.
Maybe just pop right up.
Yeah. We cut to a dramatic reading. And it says it's a small theater in an unknown city within Norway. And the little sandwich board out front says tonight only dramatic tales of the hidden world, and then in very tiny letters on the bottom from author Stabi Sundhag.
It's me.
So do you want to get into it, or do you want to have just wrapped up your dramatic reading so you don't have to improvise a spiel right
I will
off the top?
improvise the very end of it.
Okay.
I think so. We see Stabi sitting on, I guess probably is this a bookstore or a theater?
You tell me.
Okay. Let's say it's a dusty old shitty bookstore. And I think she's sitting in the only open space they have in the entire place. And there's probably like 5 to 7 people there. It's not very well attended. Rob's going to tell me how many people are there.
8, actually.
8 people are there.
Including you.
No, then 9.
8. I'll take 8. That was more than last time. And I think we see Stabi, and she's definitely going for that dramatic I'm a writer look, and she's doing the whole starving artist thing, even though she's probably not really. And she's holding the book in front of her, and we watch her snap the book shut. And that is how the mermaids befriended me, and I became one of their own. And for our podcast listeners, I'm looking up towards the sky at a dramatic angle to the right.
Very important.
So thank you. Thank you all for coming. I truly appreciate. It's heartening to me to know that there are people out here who want to read of my adventures. Truly.
And the audience gets up and, puts on their coats. What I would like for you to do, actually, is to give me a roll here. Let's do your empathy and inspiration.
My empathy is 5.
So, for those, while Tawny is pulling together her dice pool, here's how the game, how the Year Zero system works. You roll a number of d6s equal to your main characteristic and your skill. You roll that pool, and you need a 6, at least one 6, to succeed at this roll. If you do not succeed, you may do what's called a push, where you pick up all the dice that are not successful and roll them again. However, when you do so, you must choose to take a condition. And the condition depends on whether you're taking a physical or a mental condition. And this is something that's a little different from the other Free League games, because they all use the same base system, but there are different variations for flavor. In this game, condition you actually check at the end of the game to see if that condition becomes like a permanent issue, as opposed to things Tales from the Loop where it just kind of poofed away, and you were a kid, you had a juice box, and you're fine. So roll away. Just so you know, for every 6 that you roll, that's how many people actually buy the book.
Nice. Okay.
And you need at least 1 to basically cover your travel expenses on this tour.
Come on.
So I'm rolling
fingers.
5 empathy dice and 3 inspiration dice. So,
Nobody bought you.
I'm pushing that because there are no 6s.
Off to a good start. I see Tony's dice jail is going to be super full.
Hopefully she brought enough 6s tonight.
Eat, dragon,
Wow.
eat, and be
You're gonna
merry.
need. I think you're going to need multiple
Only a couple
dice.
of those rolled a 1, dude.
Going for 6s, okay? We'll do
No,
it for
to be fair, as an author, this is a fairly true to life simulation of why did you ever buying my stuff?
I think what I wind up doing is like I've got my dog Saga off to the side. She's a Hamilton hound, and I'm like,
Never mind.
and I call her over and I'm like scratching her ears and I'm trying to be like, it's okay, sweetie, we'll find a way to feed you this evening. I promise, Saga.
What condition are you taking to reroll here?
Hopeless.
Hopeless.
Because you get to choose the condition.
Yeah, I think it's hopeless.
Because you're like,
I'm like, come on, man. This is how it always goes. With my best dramatic interpretation of the mermaids yet. There's a 6!
The 1 person.
I sold a book.
Is it her mom? Did her mom come?
Wow. So the teas are going.
So yeah, you kind of wait and you know you're scritching Saga behind the ears, and one by one the people drift out of the bookstore until there's the last is an old man who like he's definitely been like eyeing it and like weighing it, eyeing it, and then finally he looks at Saga, and Saga just gives him the full puppy face, and he's like, "I'll take it."
Why, I thank you so much, sir. It truly heartens me to know that someone wants to read my tales.
Don't press your luck.
This will prop up my coffee table nicely.
Just the right amount of thickness.
And he takes the book and and he has you sign it
With the biggest flourish I possibly could.
Two kind gentlemen.
I do think there's some kind of inscription that's like, to the kindest gentleman in all of... That's what I was looking up when you caught me by surprise.
Oh, what town you're in?
She asked the old man,
such and place.
where the hell are we? Cleveland?
Welcome to Shelbyville.
Milwaukee.
Oh,
Don't worry about it.
Not that kind of map.
No.
No. So, does this one have any? Actually, I don't think even... No, this one has towns. Well, don't worry about it. Because we're going to be leaving very soon. And he leaves, and the bookseller is like, "You did good. Some poor souls don't even sell one single solitary book."
You know, I must say I am very grateful for your patronage.
Oh, it's a nice way to spend a Tuesday night.
It is, isn't it?
Well, I've got to get closed up here, so
I shall make my exeunt.
And you leave. The shopkeeper waves to you and locks the door. And then, as you're walking to the hotel, you hear footsteps.
I snap to Saga and start walking a little bit faster as I slightly glance over my shoulder.
You don't see anything.
Pull my hat down and my collar up on my coat. And I walk a little faster.
You do hear something, though.
Uh-huh.
Where's my copy, Stabby?
I ignore it wholeheartedly.
It gets, as you speed up, it gets closer. Where's my copy, Stabby?
I walk a little bit faster.
Where, and you can feel the breath on the back of your neck even as you move forward, and the weird vegetative scent of it. Where's my copy, Stabby?
I think I turn very quickly and I yell, I'm working on it, okay?
Saga is seated, like, 3 feet in front of you and doing the dog head tilt, like, are you okay?
I'm fine, Saga. It's nothing. I just was having a daydream. Just that's all it was. Just a daydream. Just a daydream that I was dreaming in my head out loud with my words.
Saga goes over to you and head nuzzles you a little bit.
I scratch her behind the ears.
And then she starts sniffing around the bag that you have all of your extra copies of the book in. And is kind of doing a weird, like, pawing at the bag a little bit.
What is it, girl? What? Did something fall in? And I go looking in the bag.
And you find an envelope. And you remember, oh yes, you picked up your mail at the front desk, but she seems really interested in it.
I look around to see if there's anyone around, and I say, all right, well, let's open it up.
We cut to Svetlana.
Oh, I was trying to dodge your finger.
Pew, pew. Yeah, I definitely feel a Batman dinner scene moment of, like, can you pass the salt, please? Pepper! That's actually a Looney Tune thing, but anyway.
It's alright. We're old.
What are you doing? Where do we find you on your farmland?
I'm probably harvesting herbs that are in my little area near the house.
Okay. So are you doing it? Are you doing it joyfully? Are you doing it intently? Describe your character as you're doing this.
I think Svetlana is a young woman. She's about 20 years old. I think she's just kind of humming to herself, just and just like sort of, humming a haunting tale or haunting song or something like that, and just slowly harvesting very carefully, but just really just enjoying, like, her hands in the dirt and just, putting joy into the harvest.
Which is why it all stops suddenly when you see the well-dressed man walking towards the farmhouse.
Every girl is crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Sorry.
I will very quietly set everything down. And I figure she's probably a little bit short, probably looks a little bit too thin, with longer, just mouse brown hair. And just probably has dirt on her face, whatever. And she'll just, dressed in just a real casual dress.
Casual
basically.
Stevie Nicks, yeah, we know.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks, like you do. I haven't watched American Horror Story. Why do you ask? So I'll walk towards him. Good day, sir. What can I help you with?
Yes, young lady. Is your mother home?
I believe she's indisposed at the moment.
Oh.
May I be able to help you with something?
Well, yes. Well, perhaps, I guess. Do you know when she'll be available?
Probably whenever she's available.
I see. Well, my name is Mr. Rask. I represent the bank.
Which bank?
The bank that currently owns the deed to your property.
But what is the name of the bank?
Bank.
The bankity bank.
The Sasha Bank.
Bank.
First Bank of Sweden.
No, the Farmers Bank.
Is there something wrong with the farm?
Well, we are curious if you are interested in selling.
No.
Because we've had
No.
It's actually a very...
No.
All right.
You're
Well,
not from around here, are you?
No.
You don't understand the connection to the land that people have, do you?
I understand that this farm has been in your family for many, many years, passed down, but
There are many things we tend to here, not necessarily all vegetative.
like cows?
You are an educated man, yet you...
Ms. Mork, is it?
Sveta.
Whatever it is that you feel that you are tending to here, you should consider the future. And the kind of future that you can secure for your indisposed mother. The kind of future that can give her the best hospital treatments and the best medical attention for someone of her advanced age.
I can take care of her perfectly fine.
Yes, but if you listened to the advice of the people whom I represent, you wouldn't have to.
But she's my mother. It's my duty.
Yes.
It's not a matter of having to.
But you would have the ability to hire people who could take care of her.
Why would I want a stranger to take care of my mother?
All right. Well, I guess I'll just have to go back to them with that, with this idea, with this stubborn idea that you're going to stay on the farm. It's unfortunate. I believe you're wasting an opportunity.
Why would I leave the farm?
To better your life and your mother's life.
What's wrong with our lives right now? Is it not fancy and shiny like your clothes? No. But we are happy. We grow things. We help things.
Well, you should be thinking about how you can help yourself. Good day, ma'am. And he walks and then stops and says, I'm sorry. As the post doesn't get out here that often, our postman asked me to pass this along to you, since you don't yet. That way he doesn't have to make the trip out to this place.
He's afraid of the chickens.
And it's the same letter, or a similar letter. We cut to... So, tell me, you're having some troubles with your family, as I recall, yeah?
Yes.
What's going on there?
For as long as I can remember, we just haven't been able to see eye to eye.
Okay.
They are very difficult people to get along with. It's like speaking to a brick wall with most of them. None of them want to open their minds to new ideas.
So, who would be the person that would be the most likely to reluctantly pay you a visit? Like, say, for example, there was a letter that was delivered to their house by mistake.
For example.
Completely hypothetical.
Pull this one out of the air.
So, like, which family member would show up?
Yeah.
Probably my mom,
Okay.
I just assume.
All right. So, describe your office and your character, which are a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think that he...
So do we have, like, the classic, like, frosted door,
Yeah.
M. Wallander?
Yeah, we have a really nice kind of office/apartment. However, it's very, like, kind of... It almost looks ransacked because it's not been taken care of at all. It's very messy. He's clearly was, like, lost something, was, like, frantically searching for it. He's wearing a nice three-piece suit, but he's also a little disheveled. His hair is not exactly combed, and part of his shirt's probably out of his pants, and it's just, he doesn't look great.
What are you looking for?
He probably has been spending all day stuck in his apartment. He probably has the 5 o'clock shadow a little bit. He's probably looking for some opium or some morphine, something that he, like, I desperately need it. I could have sworn that I had more. Where did I put it?
Goodness. Once again, Tony, bring the heat.
Your blood is haunted. Do heroin about it.
There was a wrap upon your office, on the external door. Like, I'm imagining it's technically 2 offices. You've kept the main, like, the front office is your, like, public office, and then you converted the second office into a bed area type thing.
Do I have, like, an assistant?
What's your resources?
2.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, shit. Just a minute, and I'm, like, frantically trying to make it presentable. Yeah.
I like the air quotes.
Yeah.
There's another. There's another more insistent rap, and then a. Maxwell, darling, would you just open the door? I've seen how messy you live.
Mother, is that you? What the hell are you doing here?
Well, you've already proven to be quite the inspector by figuring out who I am. Can you open the door, please?
I like her.
One second. I'm combing my hair. And then he gets it best he can, and he opens the door.
Okay. She, of course, looks like she's dripping in money.
Yeah.
For swept up haircut. I'm thinking a very Jessica Walter bearing.
Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Judy Dench.
No, I like Jessica Walter better.
I think he puts his arms out to, like, give her a hug.
Are you trying to frisk me, Maxwell?
Do I need to?
May I come in?
I suppose.
Well, seems you at least have an office. That's good.
You know I've had an office.
Well, Is that a sandwich?
Yes.
What sort of presentation are you making to your clients by having a sandwich sticking out of your roll-top desk?
That the detective they are attempting to hire is hungry.
And how recently have you been hired, Maxwell?
I had a couple of people come in last week looking for some lost pets.
And did you find them?
You know what? I did. I did
Wow.
find them.
Do you still have any of the money?
A little.
I see. And she reaches into her clutch and pulls out a envelope similar to the one that has been handed to everyone else.
Mother, if that's money, I don't need your money.
No, this is a letter that was delivered to our house by mistake.
Oh. Okay.
This is money.
I don't need the money.
Well then, pretend, and she puts it underneath her thumb, and then hands you the letter.
Aww.
Then, for once, let your deductive powers fail you, Maxwell.
My deductive powers are saying that this money is Dad's payment for not showing up. Again. When's the last time he spoke to me?
I think it was the time that you called him Master of the Devil's Cock.
Right. Yes. And how are he and the Devil's Cock doing?
Maxwell, I don't want things between us to be difficult. I understand that you are trying to be your own man, and that is an admirable impulse in anyone.
Thank you. I am trying. And I'll admit, it's not going as well as I said it would when I left you both. But I'm okay.
Well, I have heard some disquieting rumors about the places that you've been in recently. Opium dens. Is this true?
They're not dens per se, they're just suppliers. Obviously, you and Father felt it necessary to give me medication, and sometimes the doctor doesn't think it's necessary, but of course, I need it.
I see.
We all agreed that I need it, apparently, when I was friggin' 5.
I see. Well, I'm sorry I brought you to ruin by trying to take care of you.
Oh, yes, no, I appreciate all your help. As you can see, everything you and Father have done for me is working.
Well then, if there are no problems, I shall take my leave of you.
It's great to see you, Mom.
It's great to see you, Maxwell.
Have a good trip home.
Your fly is open.
Thank you. Tell Father to slurp on that
Have you
cock.
lost weight?
Yes, I have, actually.
Good.
I have.
Good. You look like you've lost weight.
Yeah. That sandwich is nothing but bread and lettuce. So it's a salad sandwich.
She leaves. You turn the card over in your hand,
Mm-hmm.
and you recognize the symbol. It's something called the Second Sight Society.
Am I happy about that or not happy about that?
You're happy about it because it's connected to the things that you've seen.
Okay.
And we cut to Franz. on a train making its way through the Nordic countryside. Describe yourself. And how are you trying to fall asleep?
I'm an older gent who is wearing what used to be nicer clothes, but is no longer been overly worn. And I have a newspaper draped over my face with my head just back, attempting to stop thinking so I can sleep.
Is a seat taken?
Every seat is taken.
Well, then I guess I'll just sit one over from you, sir.
That is your right.
And you hear the footsteps, so you're in one of the general cars where they've got the pairs of seats facing each other. So the person who asked that question shuffles past you and sits in the seat behind you. So you're now kind of back to back.
Can't you tell I'm sleeping?
You're not sleeping yet if you're talking to me.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure I'm sleeping.
Then you don't want to. I guess I shouldn't ask you any questions like where you're from or what you're doing.
Well, if you did, I probably wouldn't answer them because I'm asleep. Clearly. Hence the newspaper.
What rank did you have in the army? Did we decide on that?
I don't think we did.
Like a major, you like a captain? Like, basically, are you on the field or are you,
Fancy.
or are you higher up?
NCO or officer.
Well, probably, he is an officer because that's literally his class.
Uh-huh.
But, are you,
I was probably on the field. But...
Sergeant?
So probably like a captain or a major. Let's go with major.
Sure. Okay.
Major Payne.
It's such an awful movie.
Disagree.
Major, don't you recognize me?
I might if I took off the newspaper.
That's a good point.
I mean, where's the lie?
And I'd slide the newspaper down and peek over my shoulder.
It's Alexander Leiden, one of the members of your unit. One of the members of your unit you definitely saw die.
So apparently I was right. I am sleeping.
He turns his head and you hear the bones crack.
Tony, stop.
Well, you were right about that.
So, what brings you to the dream this time?
This place that you're going to. It's dangerous.
Good.
It's full of things like...
You?
Well, not like me. I'm just a... But things like the and the whistle blows, a shrieking, hellish whistle, and the train lurches forward to a stop. And Alexander, looks quickly to either side, and his neck cracking both times. And giant fingers come down on either side of the railroad car to pick it up gingerly and gently, and you see and feel it as it becomes uncoupled from the cars in front of you and the cars behind you, and it starts to tip on to its end, and Alexander reaches out to grab you.
And I try to reach for him so I don't fall off the back of the train.
Well, no, it's tipped so that he's going down first.
Oh, okay.
So do you still grab for him then?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a force roll here. Not as in use the force. Force physique.
1-6.
You grab his wrist, and for a moment he smiles before there's the meaty rip of tendon and crack of bone as his hand comes off in yours, and he thumps against one seat, thumps against another, and then falls screaming out the back of the train car. And you hear a grinding crunch. And then a booming voice. Are there any other treats in here? The car shakes once, shakes twice. Give me a force physique roll here again.
Anybody want a peanut?
No 6s.
Oh.
And I'm not going to reroll.
So, well,
Getting eaten by a troll in the first episode.
Roll a new character.
your hand slips off of the window that you were bracing against, and you fall directly down the center of the train car right when you snap forward as the conductor taps you on your shoulder. We're here in Uppsala, sir.
Oh shit! What?
Sarah, you scared the fucking tits off of my chest.
What other tits would he be scaring off?
No, the butt tits. Oh God! Whew.
And you're clutching that letter to your chest when you wake up. You had already opened it, and it is written in a very similar hand. And the letter for everyone says, I pray this missive is addressed to you, to each individual personally. I was going to say, Dear X, but I didn't want to have the state your name moment. I pray this missive finds you in a good health. I have information you may wish to know about the unusual experiences you may be having. Please join me for dinner at Castle Gyllencreutz on this date to discuss these things further. Signed, Linnea Elfaclint.
I was hoping you were going to say Mr. Body.
That may be an underlying theme here. An undercurry, if you will.
Nice.
Can you say the name of the castle one more time?
Gyllencreutz. It's in the book.
Can't wait to visit the Yillen Hall.
I'm
It is spelled like Gyllenhaal, except instead of Hall, it's Kreutz.
I am spelling it as how I can pronounce it, or else it will be mispronounced.
We'll just call it Jake.
Castle
Jake
Jake.
Gyllenhaal.
The Gyllenhaal.
I honestly figured it was going to take, we were going to get to the Jake Gyllenhaal references a lot earlier in the evening, so good job, everybody.
Yeah.
So, one by one, you each arrive at Castle Gyllencreutz. The building is... Where is it? So I'm going to go ahead and show the lovely illustration.
Ooh. The colors are so pretty.
This is a gorgeous, gorgeous art book.
I hope this doesn't ruin it for anyone, but it really reminds me of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yeah, I could see that.
Except like the dark version.
Yeah. Oh, I mean...
That show is kind of dark. And
Yeah,
really
it's a little...
But if you take away the kid glove glasses that they animated it with.
Yeah, right.
Then to the true nightmare realm it deserved.
The headquarters is a huge, neglected old castle on a hill by the Firis River. It's surrounded by a black iron fence and has a gate flanked by statues of griffins. The garden and the paved walkway leading to the entrance are overgrown with bushes, trees, and shrubbery. And there's a garden with several smaller buildings. Most likely used as like stables, storage rooms, things like that. And then up on a small hill, there are 7 rotting wood crosses.
That's not creepy.
Not at all. Lovely home.
And you, as you are walking up the path, as you are making your way through the garden, that's when you start to run into each other. After some polite, some peasantries and some exchanges of, oh, you got a letter too? You make your way to the massive wooden doors. And as the 5 of you arrive, they open with a heavy creak, spilling into darkness.
I'm not going in there first.
It's okay, dear. I pat your hand and I take a step forward.
And that's where we'll take our first break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with Act 2 of our first tale of Vaesen. So please join us for the next step in our spooky journey into Nordic mythology.
Congratulations, fellow human! You've reached the end of an exciting episode of Theater of the Mind Players. If you enjoyed our story, please like the video. If you want more games, subscribe to our channel. Attack the bell for notifications on new posts. If you liked the episode, please tell us what you enjoyed the most in the comments. If you loved the episode, consider joining our Patreon. You'll get access to special shows, session zeros, and help us determine what we play on the show. We love our friends of Pat Rayon, and we hope to see you there.